Hello you guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to post this or not, but I just moved to this place, so all my tools are a mess, and trying to get all organized. I had to set my toolbox, so I don't got anywhere to put my tools, so everything's a mess. But before I left where I previously lived, I bought these two bikes. This little Honda something, I think it's a 70cc. I also bought this Yamaha something. I think it's a 125. I'm not sure. I'm not really knowledgeable on Yamaha and Hondas, but I bought them together non-running. This clearly has zero compression. And this one, I'm not sure. I mean, you push on it, it feels like it has compression, but it don't start. I pulled off the carburetor, cleaned it out, put some new fuel. Got some new fuel lines because they were dry rot. As you can see, I put some new ones on there, and it still didn't start. I'm gonna be doing a compression test to see if there's any compression, because if there's no compression, that would be why it's not starting. Oh yeah, this one is a 70cc. See right there, 72 cubic meters cubed. I think that's what that means. But there's good spark, beautiful spark. Clearly there's air and fuel. And last thing you need is compression, but it feels like it has compression, but I'm gonna do compression test. And if there is no compression, that means that we got either a bent valve or a stuck valve, making it have the illusion that it has compression, but it doesn't actually have any. But yeah, like I was saying, I bought these together for 200 bucks from a friend before I left. And then here is my main dirt bike, I guess you can say. This dirt bike and I have had some history, as you can see right there. It has been leaking. Had this dirt bike for maybe 3 or 4 years. It was my first ever dirt bike. I bought it from my boss. He needed some money, and it's a RMZ 450. As you can tell, it's a big bike. But I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a pretty big dude, and I'd ridden pit bikes before, nothing this big. But I don't regret making it my first dirt bike. I got it for $1,500, but here's a big but. It's seized. As you can see, it is seized. The reason it's seized is I let a friend borrow it, and I gave my friend the oil I use. I gave him 2 jugs. He was going out for a weekend, ride it. He was like, "Can I borrow it? My quad's down." I was like, "Sure, man." I've known him for a long time. I gave him 2 jugs of the oil I use. I use Rotella 1540 full synthetic oil. Change the oil out every ride or every 5 hours. And he brings it back to me clean, brand new, clean. Like it just rolled off the showroom floor. And then he also hands me back my 2 jugs full, meaning either he didn't change the oil when he rode it, or he used the wrong oil. And I found out that he used the wrong oil because it's leaking. And when I was out riding, I rode it for maybe about 10 minutes after it warmed up, and I stopped. It was smoking like a sieve. I checked, and it's leaking from everywhere. The head, the valve cover, everywhere. Crankcase, everywhere. I was like, fuck, I gotta go home. And you know, on these Suzukis, they don't have a dipstick. Right here is where you check your oil level. And I didn't have any tools with me. I didn't bring any tools with me. The bike has, it was a brand new motor. I mean, I had it for a couple years, but it only had like 60 or 80 hours on it. And when I built it to last, not for, you know, a lot of power exactly. I mean, it is a race bike, but I wanted it to last, and I didn't really race it that much. Yeah, I was riding home on it. I wasn't going fast or nothing, and the motor seizes. I was upset. I was extremely upset. I asked my friend, like, "What the fuck, man?" He was like, "I just used some leftover oil that my uncle had," and I was like, "What kind of oil was it?" He was like, "Oh, it was Conoco diesel oil." He doesn't even fucking know what it was. The label was all ripped off, he said. I was like, "Why wouldn't you just use the oil I gave you?" Like, I don't know, man, I'm sorry, but after I got back, it was about time for us to leave that state and move. So I was upset and didn't want to work on it. But that is not our main priority this video. This thing right here is gonna be the main priority. Gonna get the compression tester out and do some compression tests on it, see if it's got good compression, and we'll go from there. So let me go grab it real quick. All right, so I got my Harbor Freight compression tester right here. Gonna test the compression, so, you know, pull the ignition wire off. Then you get your ratchet, whatever it is. Oh, it's inside the house, so I was doing some housework. Let me go get it. All right, so I got my ratchet and my socket set right here. Also got my dog. He's gonna help me out a little bit. What if I just set this down right here? So I get my ratchet on here. I'm gonna take my spark plug out. I've already tested for spark. It's one of the first things I did. And it's got beautiful, beautiful spark. Bluish purple is fucking gorgeous. So I know it has nothing to do with the ignition system. Let's pull that out. There's a little bit of oil on that spark plug. Let's pull out the compression tester. You see right here. There is just a little bit of oil on that spark plug right there. This one, that was right. Just like that. Connect this right here. Okay. Hop on here and kick it. I'm gonna just set this down right there. Absolutely no compression, none whatsoever. So I guess the next step would be to start tearing this head apart. Never torn one of these engines, these Hondas down before. Not sure what the easiest route would be, pulling the engine out or just sitting here crisscross applesauce, pulling the head off. I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably just gonna pull the engine out and set it down on a bench to work on it. Let's see what needs to come off to pull this engine out. All right, looks like we're bolted up right here. Looks like the foot pegs and kickstand are bolted onto that. Yeah, it looks like that bolt for the brake lever comes through, and that's another spot where it holds the engine on. Let's see here. Hi, puppy. Let's start pulling these bolts out, I guess. Pull the manifold, the exhaust off. The intake and that carburetor. See here, I guess I can take this off since I don't need it. The airbox, don't need it right now. So where's the stator plug into? Here. So we got two connections right here to the stator. Just gonna unplug them, maybe, if I can. Not sure if you can see, but I'm pretty much just pulling these apart like that. Boom, that one came out easy. And I don't know if this one, oh, that one came out super easy as well. So here's the stator unplugged. What does this stuff go to? This goes to, I assume this right here, and then the CDI box as well. I can grab a 10mm wrench to pull this intake off. Take off the throttle cable from the carburetor. Pull out the side here. Okay, come on. There we go. Tap on out. See, we got fuel because this is covered in fuel. Yep, that's gas. And then the tank, what is holding this in? Oh, nothing, I'm pretty sure. So, off. Or did I leave it on? The gas that I put in a long time ago probably went stale since it just sat and I didn't work on it again. I'm putting it in this. Watch out, buddy. Get this right here. Buddy. That's his name, Buddy. It's because he's my little buddy. Look at him. You're my little buddy. Pull these off. Bless you. Is that gas out? The gas this out. It gets a little high. Alright. So I'm going to just put these back in here. So please let it go. Or lose them. I'll let it go, but I'll lose them. Put this other side. 16. Oh, of course that was 8. Of course this side's 8 and the other side's 10. I'm going to go for the same size. Beautiful. Set this right here. This is my stand and my race tank for that bike. Alright. Set the airbox over there too, I guess. And pull the carburetor intake manifold off. Oh boy, why are those so tight? They're just 8s. Guess I'll use a quarter ratchet. Off. You know what? I have worked on one of these engines before. Not the Honda one, it's one of the Chinese clones I've worked on. I replaced the stator and flywheel for a friend. Smell that gas out there. Damn. Not good gas. Holy shit. Buddy, get away, man. Don't want you to get sick from this. This carburetor. Just set it right there. Hope that it don't leak fuel. There we go. Good. I'm gonna clean this up and get my dog away from it. So I'll be right back. Alright, now that I got the dogs away, I can struggle some more. So you can lay down right here. My bolt, stare at this. Oh, and realize that someone rounded it previously. That's why socket won't go on it. See right here, right there where the end of my socket is. See that little lip? Someone rounded it, or it bottomed out on something, and if that's what's pulling me to put my socket on. Be able to use a wrench. I should be able to. Let's see, I'm use the open end on this. Yep. There we go. I'm gonna start using wrenches for now. Here's the nuts, not bolts. Here's the other nut. I assume I gotta take off the bracket support thingy. Yep, right there. Correct. Gotta pull these out stuff in here. There we go. And exhaust is gone. Piece of crud. Set that right there. gonna grab me my bolt, shove that back in its hole. Grab me my nuts. Throw them on. Throw it on. And now, I think if I just take off these two bolts, gonna have to take that spring off for the rear brake. I know that they make tools for these, but why buy a $50 tool and it does the same thing, you know? And then that nut with a bolt going through. Let's see, 14s, yes ma'am, yes sir. Whoever's watching, enjoy any kind of company support. Put it right in here, break it free. So I'm gonna paint over everything on this. I mean, as you can see, the ugly paint job. Whatever letters those are, LX and MX maybe. I don't know. Ugly ass paint job. This one. Paint over everything with threads or something. There's a Honda bike though, so can't touch too much. Do you think I gotta take the kickstand off this one, or? Well, I probably do. And the bike will just have to lean against something while the motor's out. Gonna take out those 4 bolts, and then I'll pull the motor out and just set the frame against something. There we go. Bad boy on my ratchet. And then spider web. There we go. I'm gonna have to pull the bike up, huh? This is right now. Alright. So, plug over these. Alright, got the top. That's your shit. Breathing rain so far. Half that fall off. I'll cut out all this shit. Or just sit here, do nothing. I figure out how to do a video. 2, and there she is. Set that right there. And then gotta lean the bike against something. There we go. Beautiful. All right, and then this is probably gonna need 2 hands. So if I set my phone up right here, there's a cooler right here. Oh, we gotta take the chain off as well. And that's in my way as well. It's bent, man. It's bent. Yeah, it's straight up bent. For the wheel line on the side, it's bent. Speaking of bent, the bike just behind me, I think my friend also bent the rim on it. I'm not placing the rim on my friend, because I really don't care much. It's just an object, but it still sucks. Probably could just be a little bit more. Oh, I really wanted that to come off. I didn't think it would. I really wanted to. I'm just gonna cut out the parts where I struggle. Like I said, if I figure out the way to go. There we go. There we go. Alright. Chain off ish. It's just dangling. Alright. Boom. Engine pulled. Bam! I forgot about this PCV valve, but luckily it just came off with ease. Okay. Let's clean her up real quick. All right, so it has been 2 months since I recorded the previous footage. Recorded it February 8th. It's like April 12th or something like that. I got no clue. But it's been about 2 months and I haven't touched the bike. I haven't done anything, but I think that's mainly because I now have a different idea of what I would like to do with the bike and with the engine. So right here, I did get the service manual, and I also have parts diagrams and stuff like that. Just make it easier when we are rebuilding this engine. But like I did say, I have different ideas on what I want to do with this. Now, because a person who did have this previously, you know, they painted the whole engine, and get this turned around here. They painted the whole bike, you know, like the whole bike and the frame and the plastics and even the gas tank over there they painted. I would like to completely tear the bike down, all the way down to the frame, everything off, completely strip the bike. And I would like to remove all the paint and see if I can remove the paint from the plastics. Here's one of the plastics right here, okay? Let's get that there we go. You know, they painted all over this, and I would like to see if I can remove the paint on the plastics so I don't have to buy new plastics. Depending on what the condition is underneath the paint, I'm sure it's gonna look pretty new since the paint has been absorbing all the age, not the plastic itself. So I hope the plastic underneath the paint is still good. And if it is, I would like to get, you know, like a graphics kit or something like that. And then I would like to rebuild this engine, you know. I don't know, maybe toss a big bore in here. I was looking at parts, and big bores aren't that expensive. But I don't even know if it would be worth throwing a big bore. A couple weeks ago I was like, man, do I want to use a stock exhaust, just get the bike running and moving under its own power, and then I can tackle all that? Or do I just want to do it right now while I have the engine out? The person who owned this bike previously just didn't take care of it. I'm just looking over here at the bike. Let me see here. But I mean, as you can see, the bike here, it is just in horrible condition. I mean, you know, just looking at it, you know, I painted over everything. The frame, I wonder what the frame would even look like under this. Or tearing into this motor. One of the main things I want to do is I want to get this little workshop I got here at my new house. I want to get it a lot more organized. I think I'm gonna toss myself a little toolbox right there. I got plans for this motorcycle, I got plans for this dirt bike, that dirt bike, and my other dirt bike. But they will not be happening right now. But I just wanted to, you know, give a little update. This project is gonna be on a slight hold for a little bit until I can, you know, get a toolbox and clean this area up. But I will be taking the time very soon here to get this bike back up and running, and hopefully we can figure out some actual plans with this engine and this the frame, the chassis over here to my left. But appreciate y'all watching this video and my other videos, and hope to update y'all soon.